Hi guys, so I am here today with another pattern review. I'm also looking like an idiot because I've got one sleeve done up and one sleeve like folded up so I can show you both ways that I'm wearing it. So I feel like an absolute dipstick and you best hope nobody comes to my door and expects me to answer it. So hello, today I am reviewing Threadcount 1607 and I am reviewing option C, which is the shirt dress. It is also the pattern that's on the front of the envelope, so you can see it there. I'm wearing it right now, so this is my version. It is made up in a fabric by the Craft Cotton Company, so it's a white fabric with a really small black polka dot on it. It's just a cotton, no frills, it's just a really nice crisp cotton to wear with. So the pattern came free with, let me just check my notes, Love Sewing magazine, and it's part of a 5-in-1 wardrobe builder. So far I have made the trousers, and I've used the cardigan pattern to make some of my jersey tops that I was making, and then this is the first one that I've sort of done without making huge alterations to the pattern. So it says it's for beginners. I'd say as far as a shirt pattern goes, yeah, I think a beginner who's probably made like a dress or something could get their head around it. There's no darts, however you do have to put a collar in, which, as we all know, is not the easiest thing in the world. You do have to sort of do plackets, you have to do cuffs, and you have to do buttonholes. So I wouldn't really mark it down as a beginner one. I would maybe mark it down as an advanced beginner. However, if you were to make all of the things in this, I'd say you could probably start with the skirt and then maybe go to the cardigan and then the trousers and then the shirt dress and then the jacket. And you'd sort of build your way up to it, but I kind of wouldn't say it's beginner. I'd say it's more advanced beginner to intermediate. I think there's quite a few construction things in there that you would want to have some knowledge of. Fit wise, I cut a size 12. I'd say it's as expected. The only thing that I'm noticing now is that it's straining a little bit across my bust, but that could just be because I've got hefty buzzers. I do. No, I mean, they're bigger than you would expect. The only thing that I really had to do was I took 12 centimetres off the length, which means mine hits, let me stand up the chair, I've got jeans on with it because it's still cold outside. Mine hits about mid-thigh, which is good for me. I suppose, go anywhere that's sort of like gonna say, oh, she's so scandalous. But if you work in an office, you might want that extra 12 centimetres of length just so you can wear it to the office. I would say that it's a great pattern. Like, the whole thing as a wardrobe builder is great for office wear. I think you can make yourself a whole office wardrobe out of it. Or even if you're like a teacher or something, I think it'd be great. But yeah, I did take some off the length to make it a bit sassier. My notes. The pattern is printed on tissue paper. All patterns tend to be printed on tissue paper. I mean, it's not like an awful thing, but you do tend to look at them and just think like the tissue's always a bit flimsy, it always rips. I don't feel like you can iron it particularly well. I wish they'd start to use slightly thicker tissue paper, because I know you can get it because I've seen some patterns made out of it, but I do wish that pattern companies would start to use slightly thicker tissue paper. So yes, that's one of the downsides to me, is the fact that the tissue paper is so thin. Plus it comes on these massive sheets, and there's 5 patterns in the pattern pack. They're on these huge sheets, you've got to cut them out. So what I actually did was I cut them out all in one go with what size I am now. and then I put them in their corresponding envelopes. I make little envelopes out of A4 pieces of paper, and I put all the pattern pieces in each of its envelopes. So say I want to make the cardigan, I just pull out the envelope that's got the cardigan pattern in. That's how I personally do it, to sort of make sure that it's not going to get too complicated and you've not got pattern pieces everywhere. Sorry, I'm trying to keep being smiley because I'd love to have one YouTube video where my face isn't like on the little thumbnail thing. So instructions wise, it's basically the traditional method of instructions, which is these brown paper, everything's in rows sort of thing. Actually, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it does mean that you have to sort of chop and change, you have to switch a lot. I mean, the instructions themselves are actually really clear and the diagrams are really clear. For me, it's just the fact that you've got 3 of them. I would much rather they were in like a little book or just one big sheet or something. It'd be much better, I think. But other than that, I mean, the instructions are really clear. It sort of explains the techniques, and there's really good diagrams as well. I just had to stop the camera because I was like out of sync with my own mouth. Yeah, that's the other thing I was supposed to say about the pattern pieces on the tissue paper. None of the pattern pieces overlap, so you can just cut them straight out, which is a huge plus for me because it means you don't have to trace them. With regards to how the pattern sort of works, everything fits together okay. The only trouble I had was with the cuffs. I ended up with my cuff being slightly too, my cuff piece being slightly too big for my shirt, but that's probably just a Frankie error rather than being an actual pattern error, and I don't think it looks too bad with the little tab on the side. It actually makes it easier to do up, so that's good. But yeah, I'd actually say it's a pretty solid shirt dress pattern. For me, it's a shame that it's really simple, which is nice. I mean, there's no bust darts, no waist darts, but for me that doesn't really give me a lot of opportunities with regards to like pattern hacking it into like being a more flirty dress with like a puffy skirt or anything like that. So that's kind of, for me, that's kind of a bit of a downside, is that there's less opportunity for me to make it my own, so to speak. I probably will make another one. I do like the pattern. I mean, it takes a good long time, especially if you want a nice finish. I think this took me about 2, maybe 3 evenings of sewing, but it's worth it. It's also worth adding interfacing to your collar and your collar stand, just because it gives it that stiffness. I've got interfacing in the collar stand, but then I ran out, so this is done using, to make it stiffer, I put a piece of grosgrain ribbon on the inside and hand stitched it because it makes it stiffer. But that's me, because I was silly and did it by interfacing. So yeah, that's my review of the Threadcount 1607 shirt dress. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, please like and subscribe, and let me know if you'd like to see any more videos from me in the comments. Bye!